Well, hello and welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. My name's Paul, and I'm joined by
Thomas.
And we're about to watch episode 10 of the War Games, the final story of season 6. Final story of this massive 10-parter. Get ready in a minute, Thomas. Bang, bang, bang. Here it's coming.
Oh, this is the last time we'll have it. I'll kind of miss it in a way. Wakes you up.
And yet, it's exciting stuff, isn't it? They've been ramping it up. The last episode in particular really ramped up the tension. Time Lords on their way.
Time Lords arriving. I can't believe this is the last episode of season 6. Is it the last episode of the 1960s?
It is the last episode of the 1960s.
That's a pretty big thought, isn't it?
Definitely, definitely.
I mean, this is truly bizarre, but I'm here for it. The use of organ, the slow-mo, and their voices all
yeah,
distorted.
I mean, oh, look at the TARDIS. I don't feel like we've seen huge amounts of the TARDIS of late.
Yeah.
Beautiful set.
It's gorgeous. With those very ornate chairs as well. It's like...
Now, this is a bit from Fury from the Deep, reused
oh,
footage.
yeah, nice. That is
it was
awesome.
Fury from the Deep, wasn't it? The TARDIS landing on the water we talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the sea.
With the helicopter shot.
Yeah.
Well, we're landing.
Oh, that's an awesome sound
Oh
effect.
no! Is that what you call somewhere safe?
The stuttering TARDIS sound.
Yeah. Look at that outfit.
Yeah. You might recognise the Time Lord in the middle, the blonde one. He played. He was in the Mine Robber.
Oh
I can't remember who it was. Bernard Horsefall. His name is. He's going to appear in a lot of future episodes as well. So.
You collaborated with my
Bernard Horsefall.
If I am guilty, then you are.
Time Lord casualties here.
Yeah. So maybe that's it, because it shoots you for so long, it stops you from being able to regenerate or something.
Sense of justice still. You have no authority over me.
Jackie Weaver.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Read the standing orders.
Read them and understand them.
You have been found guilty of all charges, and you and your murderous associates will be dematerialized.
Whoa.
It will be as though you had never existed.
Dark.
We'll be on our way. Come on, Doctor. Cheerio.
You're raised from time.
Oh, take this
Gosh.
thing off.
I want to go with the doctor!
Come on, let us out of this thing!
You have heard the charge against you, that you have repeatedly broken our most important law of non-interference in the affairs of other planets.
That's true,
What
he
have
has
you to
broken
say?
that.
Do you admit these actions?
I not
Hard to
only
defend
admit
yourself
them,
against that.
I am proud of them. While you have been content merely to observe the evil in the galaxy, I have been fighting against it.
Yes,
Not we who
Doctor.
are on trial here, Doctor. It is you.
No, of course you're above criticism, aren't you?
Do you admit that these actions were justified?
Yes, of course I do. Give me a thought channel and I'll show you some of the evils I've been fighting against. The quarks.
Oh, yes, we're going to see some highlights.
The robot servants of the cruel dominators.
I love how
I mean,
that's what he goes to.
I know. That's like deadly. Deadly they are. Look at them.
Terrifying. Oh, this is a nice way of revisiting
Instruments of an alien
what's come
intelligence
before.
trying to take over the planet Earth.
All this is entirely irrelevant.
You asked me to justify my
That's
actions,
new
I am
footage, though, I
doing
think,
so.
isn't it?
Let me show
Yeah.
you the Ice Warriors. Cruel Martian invaders. They tried to conquer the Earth too. So did the Cybermen. Half creature, half machine. But worst of all were the Daleks. A pitiless race of conquerors exterminating all who came up against them. All these evils I have fought, while you have done nothing but observe. True, I am guilty of interference, just as you are guilty of failing to use your great powers to help those in need.
Is that all you have to say?
Well, isn't it enough?
Your defense has been heard and will be carefully considered, but you have raised difficult issues. We require time to think about them. You will be recalled when we have made our decision.
Ah,
That was a heck of a face there.
Follow me.
Goodbye, Jamie.
But Doctor, surely we could...
Goodbye, Jamie.
oh no. Is this
I
it?
won't forget you, you know.
I won't forget you. Don't go blundering into too much trouble, will you?
Oh, you're a fine one to talk.
Goodbye, Zoe.
Goodbye, Doctor. Will we ever meet again?
Again. Now, Zoe, you and I know time is relative, isn't it?
Time is relative, isn't it? Oh, that's quite emotional, isn't it?
I mean, Jamie is probably the longest serving companion so far.
Yeah, won't they?
Not
Yes.
entirely. They'll be returned to a moment in time just before they went away with you. They will remember their first adventure with you, but nothing more. But come along.
Wow.
Your fate has been decided.
Gosh.
So their memories are being wiped, you know?
Oh, that's heartbreaking, isn't it?
There's the wheel, isn't it?
Zoe,
Yeah.
The wheel in space.
Zoe, you all right?
Oh, yes.
Are the doctor and Jamie gone?
Yes, I've just seen them off.
Well, we better get back to work, you know. There's a lot to be done if we're going to get the wheel back to normal. Are you sure you're all right?
Oh, yes. I thought I'd forgotten something important, but it's nothing.
All right, come on then.
All right, I'm coming.
Gosh.
It's like Donna.
Yeah. I thought I had something lovely.
She'll be all right, won't she?
Of course.
What about Jamie?
And we like Zoe.
Yeah. So it's all changed, isn't it? Yeah, as you say, he has been part of the show for a long time now.
Try to murder a McCrimmon, would you? Well, I'll show you! Caricature!
Imagine if he just got
They
shot
will
there.
both continue their lives as if nothing had happened.
Yes, very efficient. Now then, what about me?
We have accepted your plea that there is evil in the universe that must be fought, and that you still have a part to play in that battle.
What do you mean that you're going to let me go free?
Not entirely. We have noted your particular interest in the planet Earth. The frequency of your visits must have given you special knowledge of that world and its problems.
Yeah, yes, I suppose that's true. Earth seems more vulnerable than others, yes.
For that reason, you will be sent back to that planet
Oh, good.
in exile.
In exile?
You will be sent to Earth in the 20th century, and will remain there for as long as we deem proper. And for that period, the secret of the TARDIS will be taken from you.
But you can't condemn me to exile on one primitive planet in 1 century in time? Besides, I'm known on the Earth. It might be very awkward for me.
Your appearance has changed before, it will change again, and that is part of the sentence.
You can't just change what I look like without consulting me!
You will have an opportunity to choose your appearance.
Oh, well, that's not so bad. But I warn you, I'm very particular.
Here is your first choice.
Oh, he's too old. But he's too
Father
fat, isn't
Christmas.
he? No, he's too thin. Yes,
Love how he's
that
just
one's
showing
too
sketches.
young. Oh, no, that won't do at all. That's ridiculous.
This is the most
You're
advanced
wasting
technology
time,
in the
Doctor.
But it's not my fault, is
galaxy.
it? Is this the best you could do? I've never seen such an incredible bunch.
Since you refuse to take the decision will be taken for you.
No, I never said that. But I maintain I have the right to decide what I look like. It could be very important on the Earth. People on Earth attach a very great deal of importance. Oh, what's happening?
Is this the regeneration? Bohemian Rhapsody.
Is this the real life?
What's happened?
The time has come for you to change your appearance, Doctor, and begin your
Doctor
exile.
just killed a man.
Is this some sort of joke? No, I refuse to be treated in... What are you doing? Oh, stop! You're making me giddy. No! You can't do this to me! No! No! No!
Headless Doctor. Oh my goodness. That's how it ends.
There we go.
I'm sorry, I'm busting for the toilet. At this pivotal moment. I'll be back in a second.
Big moment for you. Wants to be empty bladdered. Oh dear.
Right. Sorry about that.
Hello.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean,
Yeah. I'm reeling slightly from that. I mean, a lot happens. So, two companions leave the show. It seems, Jamie and Zoe. They've been very good, and I suppose part of me maybe thought, oh yeah, this probably would be the time that they'd leave if they're going to leave the show anytime soon at the end of the season. But yeah, so that's a bit of a moment. And then yeah, and then what was going on at the end there with like, we'll have to give you a new face, and then he's just sort of headless tumbling into an abyss, and then it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, doesn't it?
yeah.
But very good to see the Time Lords, and interesting how they've done it, because yeah, I really liked the way they framed it. They're incredibly advanced, but they don't interfere with the affairs of other creatures, and that's the Doctor's crime, really, is that he's got too involved. I thought that was interesting. It's like they're so kind of transcendent and beyond that they could not possibly, stoop to interfere with other planets, whereas the Doctor's like, no, I want to actually do something about the evil in the galaxy. And they're like, yeah, all right then, but you're going to be exiled to Earth, which is interesting, isn't it? So,
and the secret of the TARDIS will be taken from you.
Yeah, fascinating. And it had a slightly religious feel to it, didn't it, with the organ music and the sense that they're almost they're a bit cold and kind of aloof, aren't they? Sort of, yeah.
They're almost godlike, aren't they, in their abilities? Like the way they just kind of, that Time Lord looked at the Warlord and was able to sort of torture him, and they just conjure up the force fields, and they're completely not bothered, are they? Like when those guys turn up with the guns and try and escape, and then they're just like, "Oh, and you're just going to wipe you from time."
Yeah, yeah, incredibly
so, there you
powerful.
Go. Yeah, you do get a sense of real power, don't you, behind them? And yeah, so in a sense, although, well, I mean, the Time Lords before this were not mysterious because we hadn't heard of them, but even though they've shown quite a lot all of a sudden there, because you get Gallifrey, although we don't get it called Gallifrey.
Yeah.
We get the home planet, we get the Time Lords themselves, and we get to see a lot of what they do. It's still really just a very small amount of stuff you see, but you just get a sense of this very powerful race, and like you say, that they're so powerful that they just stand and they observe and stand back from the universe. And that's the rule that, this rule of non-interference that the Doctor has broken. Really kind of creates, really quickly paints this big picture of Time Lord society and the Doctor's place in it and stuff as well.
And I love that he said he got bored. That was the reason.
Yeah.
That was brilliant, wasn't it? Because it just completely fits with his character that he is the slightly rebellious one, with a twinkle in his eye, and he's not just going to sort of sit there and do nothing really for years and years. So
yeah, and I mean, I think it's it's sort of bittersweet ending for Jamie and Zoe, isn't it? Because they obviously they're fine, which is good, but all the things that they did with the Doctor apart from their first adventure, as the Time Lord said, is effectively wiped from their memories, so that as if they never happened. Which is very sort of Donna Noble-esque, isn't it?
Yeah. And I am intrigued by this face thing, because it feels like it's setting it up for a regeneration. But is he gonna? Is he gonna die, or is he just gonna get a new face? Because that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? So I'm intrigued for how they're gonna round that up.
Yeah, well, it's certainly left you on a cliffhanger, so to speak, I guess.
Yeah. Oh no, my face. So
let's do a bit of gurning. I do quite enjoy when they're like, the time has come for you to change your appearance, and they're like, here's some options for you. Like some
and
pencil sketches.
Terrible.
It's like Father Christmas, like some really awful options.
I think they're kind of taking the mick in that moment. And they're really unclear drawings as well. It's like
but that adds something to the idea. I suppose maybe it's a bit more, maybe it's after Capaldi, maybe people are more familiar with the idea that the Doctor has some say in what he might look like.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, that you could choose who frowned me this face, as Capaldi kind of says. And so maybe it's not random. Who knows? But it's quite a story, this, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think it's been one of the highlights of the season. Well, we'll talk about this in our season review, but just in terms of the fact that you have a 10-parter, and it was long, but it flew by, really. I'd say it didn't feel like any episode was unnecessary, and just a great concept there of this kind of scheme that's going on with the war the kind of the time zones of the war and stuff, and all that manipulation. And then it kind of, the story becomes even bigger when the Doctor decides to involve the Time Lords, and it's like the first point he's gone, yeah, man, this is really bad. I actually need to bring my people in to kind of sort this out. But then he doesn't want to be on the scene because he doesn't want to face them. So it's really interesting, isn't it, that he calls them, but he doesn't want to be in the same room as them. It's like calling the police and then fleeing
the scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story, isn't it? What was it like seeing it again?
Yeah, really, really good. I mean, I think given that it's, as you said, it's a 10-parter, and I think there were sort of a couple of 4-parters that were kind of being cut, and this was quite a last-minute addition, I think, and it was written quite hurriedly.
Yeah.
It holds up really well because there is a bit of a running around, in the middle, like we mentioned a few times. There's a bit of a pattern here of kind of, they get captured by people and they think they're spies, and then they escape and meet another group and so on. And there's a little bit of that run around in the middle, but it's always entertaining and it's always fun, and it didn't drag.
Yeah.
So given the fact it was written quite last minute to kind of make up for the fact that the scripts had been thrown out, I think it works really well. And yeah, it just introduces so much, like we've said, into the show's sort of canon, if you want to call it that. That it's just great. And I mean, obviously you're a little bit perplexed by the ending, I guess.
Yeah.
But I suppose, I mean, it's no, I don't think it's a spoiler really, because I think people, if you were watching this in 1969, you would have known that that's it for Troughton.
Yeah. Wow.
He's gone. This is the end of the Troughton era.
That's what I assumed watching it, because, yeah.
But at this point, they have not cast a new Doctor.
Oh, no way. Because when they were showing those sketches, I thought one of them was going to be the one.
Yeah, yeah. So no, at this point, no, they've not actually cast anyone at all.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it is it's a great way to end an era. It's an epic story to finish on, and it is, it's the end of the Troughton era, but as you said, it's the last story in the 1960s, or at least the last one to be aired in the 1960s.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's the last of a couple of things really, but perhaps we'll get onto that when we see the next one. And it's obviously teeing up this idea as well, as we talked about, of the Doctor being exiled to Earth, which is another potential change of what that might mean for the series.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I guess something I wondered throughout the modern era was like, why has the Doctor kind of connected himself to Earth so much? This kind of helps build that a little bit, doesn't it? A lot of his life has been bound up with Earth for one reason or another.
Yeah.
It's kind of a second home. But one other thing, you did point this out very astutely, that when he was like, look at all these terrifying monsters that I've had to defeat. The first thing he goes for are the quarks.
The quarks. Oh, I'm not sure you'd have started there, mate.
They were bending over backwards to say the Dominators was an important story, guys.
I think I've gone for that big phallus-like thing, the Crotons over the quarks. Like, look at these things. Like, look at what I've been menaced by. Look at that. Imagine that coming at your face.
It's like in Avengers. Was it Endgame when they revisit Thor: The Dark World a lot, which is considered one of the worst Marvel films, Thor 2. And they were just trying to say, no, this was important.
We told you.
Might not have thought so, but we're going to revisit it.
It was all world building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Well, we'll get into it more, I guess, in the in our season 6 review. We can talk more then about Troughton because it's the end of an era, and you know, it's the last film. But I feel an appropriate ending for him. He doesn't go out. I mean, imagine if the Space Pirates had been his last one. Oh. Like, it doesn't bear thinking about, does it? So
yeah, no. This was definitely the story to go out on. I mean, it was a banger. So
yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, shall we wrap that up there, guys? Thanks for joining us so much. Thanks so much for joining us. Who knows? If you want, you can rearrange the order of those.
Thanks so much for joining us so much.
Time is relative. So
there you go.
Yeah, no, thank you for joining us for season 6. We will come back soon with a review for it. So chuck questions down below. Hopefully we'll be able to pick some of those up. And we often do a live for that, and we'll let you know when that's coming. And then hold on. We'll be back soon for season 7. Until then, bye-bye.
Goodbye.